Happy Pride Month!
I'm Grace.
And I'm Annabelle.
To celebrate Pride Month this year, we wanted to hear voices from the LGBTQIA+ community.
We had the pleasure of speaking with Cas, and we talked about Pride Month as well as his experiences as a member of the LGBTQIA+ community.
We are so excited to share this video with you all, so let's get into it.
Hi, my name is Cas Trimarchi, and I'm 20. I am transgender. I use he, him pronouns. I've been in the LGBTQ community for over 6-7 years now. So I've came out, I've been in the closet, I've been both of them at the same time, you know? So I know a lot about the community.
I'd like to talk about what you just said both at the same time. How was that experience for you, being out with certain people and not out with certain people?
Well, I came out as trans to a lot of my friends as first, and then not to my family. So that was really hard to have friends to come over and be like hush hush about things until I told them, and you know that's a whole other story, of course. But it was complicated for a while, for sure.
Like, was it difficult when you first came out to try to find people that you connected with?
Oh yeah, it was hard. I lost a lot of friends. I lost a lot of family, a lot of friends, a lot of people, for sure. But then, you know, you lose people and you find out that those people aren't really good people. You know, they didn't value what you value in your life. So, you know, leaving those people could be a positive thing, and then, you know, being positive, you will find more positive people. So when I lost those people, I gained so many more supporters. So that was always really helpful. So like in high school, like I was the president of the GSA. And so I felt like I had a very that was a safe place for the school. Like I felt like I was like a father figure to all those little kids that like needed that help and needed that space, and yeah.
So what do you think the biggest issue you face in your community is?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't just see a lot of community, I guess. Mm-hmm. Like, I can see, like, there's the little pride picnic that they're gonna have soon, and the crosswalk, which is really good. I feel like I would love to see, like, an actual, like, LGBTQ center. Like, I have to drive about an hour and a half to get things that I need. Go all the way to Norwalk and come all the way back here to do stuff, which is really complicated, very hard. So I would think, you know, I think the community would be great to have a center for people that need, like, testosterone care, or care that's in, like, STD stuff, or a center for people to make them feel safe at the end of the day, to a center that feels safe, and to have like a after school thing or something like that. I feel like that would be something for the community, for sure.
Mm-hmm. What do you wish more people would understand?
More people understand. I wouldn't say like common courtesy or like something like that, like social cues or anything, but I feel like learning more about how to use like pronouns, or asking someone in a nicer way to like, oh, how do you identify as? Or like, what pronouns do you use, without saying, oh, are you like a him or a her? You know, like there's ways to like talk to someone that is more like comfortable and making them feel comfortable, making both people feel comfortable at that point. But how to like say things correctly in a more like comfortable way, I guess. I feel like that would be good.
Do you have any advice for other members in the community?
Advice that I would give to the community, I would say to be yourself, to be honest. Be who you are and be it as best as you can. Like, don't let anything hide, unless, you know, you're uncomfortable, of course, and that's a whole other story. But, you know, being who you are will make you the happiest person in your life. in like future you'll go back to it and be like, I'm happy that I did what, being who I am. So I would say, be who you are.
What advice would you give to people who aren't in the community but they're allies, they want to help those people?
Resources, for sure. Trying to be an ally and trying to give help or trying to be a help or having a family member that wants to know more or anything, research. There's a lot of projects like the Trevor Project, and there's a lot of communities and websites and town communities that have centers that you can go and take classes and learn things and stuff like that. So like being an ally is pretty easy these days to find what you need or to learn more.
If you don't mind going to that advice you give parents of kids who are either out or maybe not out yet or all the in between.
I think the best thing for a parent to do is just talk and ask questions and learn more about what is going on and how are they feeling. The best way of understanding is how they feel and accepting it, not just pushing down the feelings and pushing down how they feel, accepting the fact that how they feel is true, how they're feeling is valid, how they're feeling is how they're feeling, and it could change but it could not, and at that point it will whatever. But just sitting down and having that conversation and learning and agreeing and asking questions is always really good for the experience, I guess.
Yeah. I like what you said about feelings being true, valid, like, and that they can change, but they may not. So,
Yeah. So I think that's a huge thing, like, oh, your feelings are going to change, like, you're not going to be this way, like, you're just confused.
If the time when I came out as trans and my mom being like, no, that's not a thing, you cannot be that, you will never be that, and then and I'd be like, oh yeah, sure, I mean it's been 5 years, but I'll change one day, I guess. I mean, I've been on testosterone for almost 2 years, but that will change for sure. Like, I wish if my mom back then, I wish she would have not been so upset and actually sat down and had the conversation with me and talked about how I was feeling and not just her, because it was always just like one-sided. It was always like a wall. It was always like one-sided. So I guess, in my stand, like my own personal life, like I wish she kind of talked to me without being angry and being very like self-centered. It's also like being in where I am now in my life, like for the kids' sake, I feel like kids or kids should really understand how your parents are also feeling. Like, I understand you don't really want to hear how they're feeling, and it could be upsetting, but your parents are also going through so much emotions with coming out and their kid coming out, that like it might take a little bit. So them saying no the first time might not be no a second time, or they might learn more after you telling them and them like be doing more research and then coming back to you being like, actually I understand this. Like, sometimes those things feel better. But
what can you do in the meantime when your parent is trying to figure out more about how you're feeling? Like, to help them maybe, or should you even try to help them at all?
I mean, I guess that's all depends on how comfortable you are like expressing that. So when I would send a lot of videos. I would send her a lot of videos of people that I really like support, like a lot of YouTubers that I found that were trans. I was like, hey, like they're doing some really good things and they're saying things that are like very like educational wise, so you would understand it without me mumbling and not understanding how to express it to her. So a lot of videos, a lot of that. She went to a lot of like little seminars, like trans parents that had questions, and so she went to a lot of those. So like there's a lot of resources for sure to talk and learn, and knowing that like even telling like a parent being like, hey, like if you have questions, like I'm always open to answer things. Like having that door open is like really good, and not just being like, you said no, so I'm never talking to you ever again. It's like, you're not gonna have a good relationship, and it might not be fixed, which is really sad.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Those seminars, how did your mom find those?
You can, like, I guess you can go to, like, there's probably, like, a Connecticut Pride or a website, or, like, Norwalk Pride. They have a whole website with resources and doctors and, like, therapists and all these things that you need. Like, they have a whole website that says all that stuff. And I think she went to a few of them, and then she tried to make her own. So there's always ones around if you look hard enough.
I feel like we covered a lot of things, but
Yeah.
I feel like we talked about this and everything, like the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
how that's affected the community. You just like, it's something that I guess we always bring up just because that was a pretty big thing that
Right,
happened.
yeah.
Well,
Pandemic.
major historical event.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially
Love
textbooks.
It'll be there.
It will.
Yeah, but has that affected anything at all?
I don't know. I mean, like, even, like, there's so many aspects of it. So, like, even, like, home life, being with, like, your family for so long, all day, all night, every day, it could be really hard. So, like, having your own space was really nice. Having, like, my own little space to calm down, and if anything did, like, boil up in the family, that was always, like, a good thing. It was hard to find, like, a good, like, safe space for myself at home when I didn't have, like, couldn't go to a friend's house or couldn't go on a walk, or, you know, either or. But that was always a good one to have. But I don't know, I don't think the pandemic really, like, I think it helped me to, like, because I started testosterone right when it started, and so I went through the whole pandemic by myself. So I came out of it looking completely different from when I started it. So that was really good, just to, like, a little, like, hibernation. And then I came out as, like, you know, someone I felt better in. So I kind of, like, felt like the pandemic kind of helped me try to find more of, like, myself. But also I had a lot of, like, trying to find things to feel better in, and, you know, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. What other safe spaces are there for you? Like, you mentioned friends' houses. Like, is that where you feel the most safe, or?
Yeah, friends' houses are good. If you were feeling safe at, like, at work, you know, add more hours to your work day if you can. You know, if your house doesn't feel safe, it's always good to have a second or third place that you feel safe in. So, like, if I didn't feel safe at my house, I would go to my friends, or I would go to, like, my aunt's house or my uncle's house or someone, or my neighbor. I feel more safe. If I felt more safe, I would go to my neighbor's house, or, you know, work. You know, but there's even centers, you know. If there was a center closer to here and I didn't feel safe, I would go there, and they would have the resources, the therapists, the, you know, blah, 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 other people there feeling the same way. You know, that's always good to have. So. In middle school, I didn't really know who I was or what I was or anything, basically. I don't think a lot of people really know that much in middle school, that who they really are. That's when they kind of, like, learn that stuff. And I met a group of kids that were identifying as, like, gay, trans, lesbian, stuff like that. So I learned a lot from the kids that I were hanging out with. And then I kind of started, like, oh, like, this is really cool. And I came out as bi, and I came out as like every letter of the LGBTQ until, like, now, which is, you know, weird, but, like, and I dated a few, like, women and dated a few men and all of that, and I didn't come out to anyone for maybe a year or so until my friend's mother came out for me and told my mother that I was a spawn of hell, basically, if that's the nicest way to put it, because I'm not going to say anything that she did say. But she told my mom, and my mom didn't understand it, didn't like it, and I didn't know how to tell her how I felt, because I didn't even really know, because I was in middle school, and I was just kind of like, hey, I like this girl, and that's what should matter. Like, it doesn't matter how I feel. Like, I just like this girl, and she didn't like that, and, you know, that came from a lot of fighting for years on years. And I moved, and we made a huge new life, new house, new everything. And then I came out as trans, and that took a really, really long time. And my mom, it took my family a really long time to understand what that meant and how many things were gonna be changing in the life and changing in the household and changing in any aspect of life, to be honest. And it took her a while, and it took her a few pride events and workshops and resources and all of that. And, you know, it's good to say that now she helps me with my testosterone shots, and she goes to pride events, and she goes to like changing gender change and name change, and she's helping me with paperwork. And, you know, so, you know, from back then when I was a 16-year-old and crying in my room because my mom didn't accept me for who I was, and now being 20 and my mom helping me with my shots and going to New York City Pride with me. And, you know, that is such a different, like, two different, you know, people at that point. Those, like, my mother is, you know, she changed completely how she viewed life in a better way, which is fantastic, in a positive way. So, you know, but now being 20 and everyone, you know, it's, you know, feels better. I feel a lot more, you know, positive and feeling better about myself, and, you know, going out there and making a good change and feeling good about it, because back then I couldn't even, like, handle, like, giving a full sentence out to, like, my mom about how I'm feeling, or going to, like, a therapist and saying this without them saying I'm wrong or any of that. And even back in high school, too afraid to talk to the principal to make, like, a gender neutral bathroom, and then going to therapy and then being like, why is that stopping you? And then being like, you're right, like, why did that stop me? And I made it, you know, like, I did that. So, like, having that, like, life and getting the anxiety or getting the negative feeling that, like, someone pushed on me back then, and getting that out of the system, you know, bringing back, you know, I'm feeling better, I'm feeling good, you know, that pain feeling I thought would be there for the rest of my life. I don't really feel that, you know. Of course, you know, sadness is, you know, a feeling and an emotion that everyone has, but I don't feel like I'm gonna be sad forever because of what my mom said or what my father said or what my grandfather said, you know. Like, you know, like, who cares what they say? I'm feeling good, that means everything is good, you know, in my mind. Like, I'm feeling good, so I'm gonna have a good life, and I'm gonna cherish it because I'm being who I am. Like, that's not gonna stop. So, you know, it's gonna get better, and it's gonna, you know, for anyone that's feeling bad or not feeling like they're gonna, like, have, like, a future that's gonna be all bright and sunshines, like, it will. Like, you can get to that point in life if you just, you know, even, like, the mindset outcome of, like, how you're feeling, like, if you stay positive and you stay feeling good, you'll get to that point of feeling good. Like, if you keep saying every day, like, oh my God, like, I'm gonna get to this point in my life and I'm gonna feel happy, then you'll get to that point. Like, I told myself, like, I'll get to that point of, like, testosterone, or I'll get that point to, like, surgeries, and, like, I'm already there. Like, I'm getting to that point and I'm feeling really good. So just know that it's not gonna be a forever feeling, and it won't be a forever feeling, but you have to work to get that feeling. You have to work to get that positive feeling if you want to feel that way. But you're not alone. I know that for sure. I felt so alone back then, but I found community, I found support, I made support, I looked for it, and, you know, I got it, and I feel way better than how I felt back then, for sure. If, like, other little, like, trans kids that are out there, like, you'll get there. You're gonna get there at one point, and you're gonna feel like yourself, and you're gonna get the surgeries or the hormone blockers or the, you know, A, B, or C, or everything else that you need. Like, they will come, and they'll come when it's ready for you, and it will come when you feel like it's the right time. Like, I thought it was never gonna happen. Like, I thought, like, oh my God, like, my parents are never gonna allow me to go on testosterone, and I'm never gonna get this, and that. And I'm on testosterone for 2 years now. Like, you know, like, things happen. You just have to wait and go with the flow with things, and things will happen. Be yourself and love all of yourself, because this is who you are, and just completely, you know, be you and feel, you know, you. If you want to wear this, wear it. If you want to dress like this, do it. If you want to cut your hair, cut it. You know, it's going to grow back. So, you know, being who you are is going to make you feel like the top of the world, like king. So I think that's like my message is, you know, love yourself and be who you are.
We hope you all enjoyed this interview as much as we did.
If you want to learn more or check out some more resources, we've attached links in the description box below.
Thanks for watching.